Hi everyone, I'm Ilham and I am an industrial engineering student in Institut Teknologi Sepuluh Nopember and I am an IISMA Awardee to Boston University. So in this video I'm going to tell you a bit about my journey throughout this program. So starting before the departure of my departure to Boston, I first heard about the program through ITS's international office, and at first, of course, I had my doubts, such as whether I could even make it through the selection process or not, seeing that, I'm an engineering student and this program is meant for every student in Indonesia, which kind of, limits my ability to compete with them, since I'm an engineering student and the program is not engineering specific, which instills some doubt in me. And in the end, though, I still thought that I might as well try because, not trying would make me regret more than trying and not passing the selection. So the whole application process was on a very tight timeline. So they announced the registration of the program very, very suddenly. And so, I just tried to do whatever I could to prepare it, including preparing for the English test, preparing for the recommendation letter from my university, and all of those stuffs that needs to be prepared for the sign up. So yeah, I did them as quickly as possible, and then after obtaining all the necessary documents, there was some sort of internal selection in my university that me and the others awardees from my university need to go through before we can pass with a recommendation letter from the university. So yeah, we all did this sort of interview and document selection process, and luckily all of us went through the internal selection, and off we go to sign up to the central ISMA system. And about the selection process itself, we had to go through a selection for our documents, and then after that we needed to do an interview, and thankfully and luckily I passed. And so just like that, I became an awardee of ISMA. So the next step that we need to do, of course, was to apply for the visa, since we can't go without the visa, which at the time was done at the U.S. Embassy in Jakarta. And thankfully, I live in Depok, which is not that far from Jakarta, so it gives me a lot of flexibility in terms of applying when I can apply to the embassy. And the whole visa was issued within a week after my interview. So me and the other awardees to Boston scheduled the interview at the same day, and then after like about a week after that, the visa was issued. It was sent to my house, but the journey doesn't stop there. And honestly, there were still many things to do afterwards, such as finishing the whole university application process, which requires us to sign up again to Boston University, and then we also need to prepare several medical requirements, since there was quite a tight requirements needed by Boston University, and of course we also need to buy a lot of things that we need there because Indonesia is a tropical country and Boston is a notoriously cold city, so we have to prepare for that, right? But luckily, it passed on without any hitches. So off we go to the departure date. So me and the other awardees, our flight was scheduled to depart at 25 or 26th of August. I honestly forgot. So our flight started, of course, from Jakarta. We had a transit in Abu Dhabi, and then we go to Chicago, and then after Chicago, we then go to a flight to Boston. And in total, it was 20 something hour of flight. And honestly, it was absolutely tiring, But and the fact that we arrived in Boston at like 11 p.m., it's just adds fuel to the fire. And honestly, yeah, we were all really tired. But the moment we stepped off the car, in front of our dorms, realizing that okay, now we're at BU, the tiredness in us kind of dissipates because we were just so excited of being in Boston, and it was just an absolutely beautiful time. I really want to go back to that time if I can, but yeah, again, it doesn't stop there. We still need to go through all the process, the education process at Boston. And the campus itself at Boston University is very, very beautiful. It's set along the Charles River and along Commonwealth Avenue. It's a very beautiful university with a lot of highly useful facilities for us, such as there's this ice rink arena called the Ganesh Arena that is very, very good, and it's often used by artists to do like concerts and stuff. And then BU also have a top-notch gym called the FitRack Center. And honestly, all of that are just making us very very excited to go to BU and to enjoy all of that. And the city of Boston itself is such an amazing place because it's a global education hub where there are people from all over the world coming to Boston to study. And me and the others, we made a lot of new friends from dozens of countries around the world. And there wasn't really any culture shock that was particularly alarming for us, but if I have to note on one thing, it's probably how people here tend to mind their own business as they go about their days. So if you don't open yourself to new people and try to start conversations, it's gonna be kind of hard to find friends. So you just have to put yourself out there, talk to people, and you don't really have to care what they think. You just talk to them, and there you go, you have a new friend. And then after the arrival and the whole adjusting stuff for about a week, we then started our studies, and we were all blessed, of course, with the opportunity to learn from the amazing professors at BU. They really love, facilitating discussions and always make sure that every voice and opinion in the class is heard. And as a result, we had a lot of discussions and presentations in our classes that was very meaningful. There never really was a wrong answer. Maybe it's not that correct of an answer, but if you do say something that professor might feel can be improved, that's what they're going to say. Okay, so your answer might not be wrong, but here's where you can improve. So you don't really feel dejected after answering in case that your answer is wrong, but instead you feel motivated to go about and study again. And since the learning experience involved plenty of discussions, we found ourselves having the group with other international students. We got exposed to to the intricacies of working with a multicultural group, and that helped us gain a lot of insight from perspective of vastly different from our own culture, and also help us develop some sort of a global mindset, if I can say. And all in all, through our experience, we were able to suit ourselves into a much more challenging learning environment that helped us mature intellectually, academically, and socially. And after finishing the program and getting back to Indonesia, especially during the 10-day quarantine period where I reflected a lot on me, honestly, ISMA showed me that my dreams, our dreams of pursuing higher education in universities, in top universities abroad, is not such a distant thing after all. Being in Boston and having the opportunity to be, in such close proximities to other universities such as MIT and Harvard, and maybe go to Columbia or New York University or Yale, which is not that far out from Boston. It really gives me particularly a lot of motivation. We not only learn but also believe that we can achieve anything we set our mind to. I mean, after all, last year I wouldn't even think of being in Boston, but there we go. Last semester I was there. And not to mention that the friendships that I develop with the others, be it with the people we meet abroad or be it with the fellow IISMA awardees, is surely a priceless takeaway from this whole journey. So it's really one of the most memorable time in my life. So many things have happened, and it will certainly be an amazing chapter in my life. And even though I'm very sad to leave, at the same time I'm also very excited to come back to Indonesia and put all the knowledge and experience that I have gained there to good use. And I personally want to create impact by helping the people around me, pursuing education more, because sometimes I feel like people don't really have the same chance that I do have, and I feel very lucky and privileged to have had all the chances that I have. So I really want to help others obtain the same experience that I have. And I also believe that this program is a major stepping stone in my life or in any awardee's life. That is why all of us, including me from IISMA Boston University, is committed to support the continuation of this program to our respective universities. We hope that IISMA continue to create an experience of a lifetime for many more Indonesian students, and just like how it has been for us. I am IISMA biased because experiencing international higher education has benefited me in ways that I have never ever imagined, and more students should be able to experience it as well. So I encourage you all to be bold to go abroad. I'm Ilham. Thank you.